Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 757, we're going to talk about Shessra, Death's Whisper. So, for two, a black and a green, we get a 1/3 human elf warlock. When Shessra enters the battlefield, target creature blocks this turn if able. Okay. And then, at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. So, um, it's a morbid-ish type ability, paying 2 life, draw on the card, and um, I knew I wanted a lot of removal in here because I wanted to make sure we could dependably kill creatures, you know. But beyond that, I was at a loss. And by the way, I just want to take a second to say this artwork is outstanding. Just, yeah. Anyway, yeah, y'all know what I did. It's an elf deck. Yet again. I tried to lean as much into black as possible. So let's get to our um, mana ramp. And this is all green. So, uh, Elvish Mystic, Llanowar Elves. We're black green, so we get to use Elves of Deep Shadow. The Sculptor of Winter, untap a Snowland. I guess that's our first hint that we do have some Snow Matters cards in here, so hence we have a lot of snow basic lands. And I gotta know, was she born with the ear that way, or was it cosmetic? Because it looks like it's weaved. That's pretty neat. Rapid growth, Gyre Sage. I mean, it can potentially add a lot of mana. We have Llanowar Visionary, Farseek, Cultivate, Wood Elves, and Llanowar Tribe. You know, 3 for 3 for 3. I do have some stuff like the Vitalize. Of course, you know, it's really good for mana elves. Serpent's Soul Jar. You know, elf you control dies, you exile it, and you can pay 2 life until end of turn you may cast a creature from among the cards exiled with it. So, um, if you get if your elves die, you can potentially get them back again. Savage Summoning, I really kind of like. The next creature card you cast this turn can be cast as though it had flash. Can't be countered. Enters with a 1/1 counter. This is so that you can cast Shessra on someone else's turn, and you know, because I love to meddle with combats that I'm not involved in. Blessing of the Frost. Now, to Garrick Relentless, pretty neat card. Flips over, uh, hunt bigger prey. Of course, we've got Sign and Blood, Rites of Flourishing, Entourage of Terrest. This is what I call card advantage. I mean, you become the monarch, and as long as you're the monarch, it can block 2 creatures. Now, Realm Walker, I do in this particular deck because there's such a high concentration of elf cards. Um, you choose elf, and you can just cast elves from the top of your library. Seems pretty decent. And now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I probably should have taken apart that modern deck I used in that benefit tournament because there's some cards in there that could have gone in here. Anyway, uh, have Witch's Cauldron. Sack a creature, gain a life, draw cards. It's not bad. What about Warlock class? At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, each opponent loses 1 life. This is part of our plan anyway, right? And then all the rest is just bonus. The Twin Blade Assassins doesn't see a lot of elf deck love, but at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you get to draw a card. I mean, it's right in there with our theme. Diabolic Revelation is probably a decent tutor with a lot of mana production, you know. Everybody wants to tutor up a hand, right? Kindred Summons. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards of the chosen type, where X is the number of creatures you control of that type. Put them into the battle, so you double up. that's pretty good, especially if you're holding Decree of Savagery, Overrun, Binding of the Old Gods to creatures you control gain Death Touch to end of turn. That's kind of works right there with Shessra. So let's look at some elves. We have Drider. Reach. Deals combat damage. You get Spider Token. Essence Warden. Skimfar Avenger. Non-token elf draws. You draw a card and lose a life. Hey. Joiner Depth's going to solve those mana problems. Well-Wisher's going to solve those life problems, right? Numa, Jirago Chieftain. This is, yeah. X1/1 counters among any number of elves. Shaman of the Pack can just win games by coming down, and that's kind of necessary to be able to have some kind of win condition outside the combat step, just in case, creatures can't attack or whatnot. Elvish Rejuvenator, buy one, get one elf, at least in your hand. Imperious Perfect. Herald, King of Skemfar. Elderfang Ritualist is kind of neat. Dies, you get another elf. Evolution Sage. Pride of the Perfect. It is not a tribal elf card. It's made me sad that it's not, but it is a permanent +2. Chameleon Colossus, one of my favorite elves. Heedless One. Heedless One also doesn't see a whole lot of play. The Trample is really what sets it apart here. Now, everybody knows Elvish Promenade, but Elven Ambush is one of those things that just slips through a lot of people's minds because it's just so new. It was in the Kaldheim, I think, Commander deck. If you'll notice, it's high numbered. But it's really close to the same card, and it's an instant. Canopy Tactician, mana and then we have Elven Riders, which is just hard to block, flying in walls. Now let's get into our removal, of which there's a plenty. Eliminate. Return to Nature. Power Word Kill. I have heard this is a fairly accurate portrayal of a particular spell. I don't know. I'm about to start D&D for the first time. But non-angel, non-demon, non-devil, non-dragon. That's a whole lot of, But I guess that was probably the cleanest way that they could put that. Reclamation Sage, elf, and removal. I know there's some debate over whether or not Reclamation Sage is good enough anymore, but in an elf deck, it pretty much is. Doomblade, Putrefy, Murder, Poison the Cup. Now, Status and Statue, we're playing it for the statue half. If the other one comes up, it is a Death Touch granter. Crippling Fear, non-elves getting smaller. Thornmantle Striker. Target creature an opponent controls gets -X to undetermined X the number of elves you control. It's probably killing something. And then lastly, Blood on the Snow. So we've got some non-basic lands. We have quite a bunch, actually. Evolving Wilds. Terramorphic Expanse. Blighted Woodland. Golgari Guildgate, Jungle Hollow, Undergrowth Stadium, Woodland Cemetery, Temple of Malady, Llanowar Waste, Darkmoss Bridge, Necroblossom Snarl, Witherbloom Campus, Woodland Chasm, Hissing Quagmire, Command Tower, Faceless Haven, Grim Backwoods, because, sacking a creature to drawing a card is kind of what we want to do. Bajukabog, and a Terramorphic Expanse. And that is it for Shessra. I know, it is yet another elf deck. Yes, I do enjoy me some elf decks, but This one probably didn't have to be. There's probably a correct way to build this that I did not do. But them's the 757 on the wall. I do appreciate y'all. I will got a couple new patrons, be announcing them soon. Thank y'all so much. And right now, I think we're going to go ahead and shuffle and cut.